Hi all and welcome to week 2 of our class together. I know you've mostly seen emails from me, but I wanted to put a little video together to kind of walk you through how to take the assessments this week. So as you guys know, we are currently in week 2 of our class together. Oh, hold on. There we go. We're in week 2 of the class together. So this week in week 2, I just wanted to make a little video that shows you how to take the Myers-Briggs and Strong assessments. I have some information here about the assessments, but most importantly, right here is the link that you need to follow to take the assessments. So it will take you to an external site called Elevate, and it just has you create a login, and this login is just in case you don't happen to finish your assessments on time, or while you're working on it, you need to save it and come back. So you'll just create an account. So you'll put your first name and your last name, and then you'll put in an email address. It can be any email address. It doesn't necessarily have to be, your student email or something. And then create a password. It does give you parameters. So your password needs to have one uppercase letter, one lowercase letter, and one special character and one number. So let me put in my password that I'm going to create. And then it asks your age. So I'm outside of the European Union and I'm at least 13 years of age. This would most likely apply to you. And then we'd hit next. And then it asks you to put your phone number in. So we'll go ahead and put our phone number in. And then this is a security question in case you need to reset this. So maybe we'll put my favorite color. And we'll just go ahead and put purple. And this is having you agree to the terms of use. And then we're going to hit register. So once we click register, it will bring you to the assessments themselves. There are 2 assessments that we're taking this week. One is called the Myers-Briggs assessment, and the other one is called the Strong Interest Inventory assessment. So as this loads, you'll see 2 assessments listed here. Plan for about an hour, maybe a little over an hour to complete the assessments. Just depends on the person. But if we scroll down here, you see right here, Molly's Fall 2020, Student Development 125. And we have the Strong Interest Inventory Assessment. And we have the Myers-Briggs Assessment. I recommend starting with the Myers-Briggs. It's 93 questions. It's a little shorter. And then taking this one second. It's a little bit longer assessment, but it goes pretty quickly. So if we click on the Myers-Briggs assessment, it will give you some directions on how to take it. So we always want to read the directions because it kind of gives you an idea of what to expect and how to answer the questions. And then it will ask you what your gender is or what gender you identify with. And then let's see here. Okay, so this is loading in here. It gives you directions. And it basically asks you to kind of go with your instinct, your first instinct. Try not to overthink each question. And it's going to ask you questions based off your preference, what you might enjoy or how you might interact with people or what kind of you feel like you normally do. And let's look at some sample questions. So the first question on the assessment says, when you go somewhere for the day, would you rather plan what you will do and when, or just go? So you get to kind of decide like which one do I feel like is more like me, for example. Sometimes students have a challenge or feel like they're struggling when they feel kind of torn, actually, I guess I could say, when they're taking this assessment because they feel like maybe this assessment is putting them in a box. You're either this or you're that. But this assessment is strictly looking at what do you do a little bit more than the other. So no one is ever 50-50, right? So if you're torn on a question, try to go with which one you feel like you do a little more than the other. And then go with your first instinct if you're really torn. If we go down to, number 4, do you prefer to arrange dates, parties, etc. well in advance? Or do you prefer to be free to do whatever looks like fun when the time comes? Number 5 says, do you usually get along better with imaginative people or realistic people? So think of the kind of people that you see yourself interacting with. So there's 93 questions. It's a pretty simple assessment, but I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of what to expect for that Myers-Briggs assessment. And then the other assessment that we'll be taking is called the Strong Interest Inventory, and that's the one that's listed first, but I recommend you take it second. And if we click start, It's a little slow today, I guess. It'll also give you directions as well, and then it will give you sample questions. Now, this assessment is strictly based off of interest. So the first one is personality, how you prefer to behave and what things you prefer to do. The strong interest inventory is not testing your abilities, it's actually assessing your interests and the things that you enjoy doing. So obviously, I would like you to read the directions, and then here's some sample questions. So it says, for each occupation listed, indicate how you would feel about doing that kind of work. Don't worry about if you'd be good at it, or if you have enough training, or if you know how to do it, or if the money, like, don't worry about the money either. Or if you, or if that could get you ahead in your life or something. Strictly answer the questions in terms of what's interesting to you. So for example, accountant, you would rank how much you might strongly like that or strongly dislike doing that work. Being an actress, I think was the second question. Or an administrative assistant. This is a little glitchy. But the second question was like being an actress. So you would rank the questions on how much you would strongly like or strongly dislike doing that type of work. So mine's a little glitchy, just a little slow, I think, because I'm recording this video, but wanted to just give you a sample idea. Make sure when you're completed with the assessments, they both show submit, so that you've submitted them. And if you have any questions, as always, let me know. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and let me know if you have questions about the assessment.